Hi, my name is Grainge from Elite Outdoor Fitness, and this video blog is about muscle cramps. There's three reasons in my experience over the years of why people get muscle cramps. Number one is overcapacity or lack of training and preparation. Number two, salts and electrolytes, lack of. And then number three, muscle management and skeletal management essentially. Number one then, overcapacity, and so that means you haven't trained hard enough for what you're doing, because on the day you're kind of pushing really hard on a race or whatever, on an event or a challenge, and you're kind of you're pushing over your the level that you've kind of essentially been training for. So you're overcapacity, and you're overcapacity for an extended period of time based on the training that you've been doing. So this kind of really bounds back to the amount of training you're doing and how capable you are on the day. That's why here at Elite Outdoor Fitness we provide you kind of with training programs and teaching to enable you to kind of push past your normal capacity. You know, some of the training sessions that we provide are quite challenging in their nature, and essentially are kind of more making adaptations to your physicality rather than fitness, to allow you so that when you get to this stage, allow your body to know how to kind of go over that limit for an extended period of time. And so part, or a small part of the training processes that we kind of engage in are based on that to a certain extent. But the long and short of it is about progression, and a progression in your training program. And if you spend enough time gradually building up your training, rather than just spiking up very quickly over a number of weeks to make sure you're ready for that 26-mile run or 10-mile run, then if you do that, you're not engaging in all the fundamentals of training to progress correctly over time. If you want to go and do a 30-mile endurance race or a 10-mile run even, then you should be spending a great deal of time at that type of level, and also kind of incorporating a number of different fundamentals to increase your capacity. And using that as an example might well be if you're on a trail run, for example, and on the race you come to the top of the hill, you're reliant greatly on the hill repetitions and the strength training that you've done to allow you to have enough capacity to take you up that hill. Now, during your training, you know, if you're doing hill reps and you're getting to the top and running down to recover, and getting to the top and running down to the recover, then certainly within your racing, you're going to get to the top and you're going to continue. So essentially, after a period of time or a number of those, your body's very used to and trained itself just to be doing hill reps and working those muscle fibers at a very specific rate and level, and the same type of muscle fibers as well. So when you get to the top, you just run down and recover. And then on the day when you're expected to transition those muscle fibers, then you're going to essentially come unstuck. And so it's about how you progress your training, the type of training that you're doing, and making sure that you're doing the appropriate training for what you want, else you'll probably get cramps because you'll exhaust your muscles and you're over capacity. Number two is salts and electrolytes. So, you know, endurance athletes specifically will sometimes come unstuck with this because they have a tendency to drink sometimes too much water over an extended period of time, and they blow their salts out of their body. And so it's very important to ensure that you've got the correct nutrients and needs that your body needs to have over an extended period of time, and even for some people in the heat over shorter periods as well. But that all kind of bounds back, and I hate to say it again, to training and your training load. If you're loading progressively over a period of time, then you've done what you're doing on race day plenty of times. And you've probably, if you've trained correctly, like we kind of promote, you've probably been very close to that intensity, or on that intensity, or even over that intensity at all different levels during your training, to allow you to be really confident when you're racing. And if you're racing and you're coming unstuck because of a lack of water, or too much water, or a lack of nutrients or whatever, it's probably because you haven't been training right, and you've trained too quick, and you haven't learned over an extended period of time of what your body actually needs. So that's really important, to make sure that you've got plenty of time to train for an event, and it's very structured and loaded correctly to make sure that you're in that zone as you would be when you're racing, for many, many weeks, to allow you to kind of build that confidence and have a better understanding of what your body's needs. And number three is maintenance, body maintenance. And what I mean by that is looking after your muscles and your tendons and your ligaments by stretching and making sure you're doing your warm downs and your warm ups, and making sure that you're going for deep tissue massage and all that good stuff, because that facilitates full recovery. And at the same time, if you don't look after, as using as an example, maybe calf muscles, they have a tendency to kind of push against your skeletal system and your bones, and they force kind of a little bit of forging onto the bone in kind of exaggerated situations, and that's exactly what occurs. And your muscles shouldn't be in that fashion, and it restricts them, and over a period of time they will become more fatigued and fatigued quickly, and then they'll cramp. And so when you're training and you're getting cramps, or and you're training hard or you're racing, just think about all those kind of areas, and really on all of those areas it's about maintenance of your body, and really to cover the other two, it's about having the correct training program in place to ensure that you're managing your progression, and you don't need to worry about cramps then. You don't need to worry about your footwear. You don't need to worry about rubbing, because you've kind of gone through it all at a very progressive level and understood what you need and what your tolerances are, and all that. So yeah, top tips, take them on board if it's for you. Thanks for listening, and chat soon.